The story of Buddha. Buddha, born 563 BC, died 483 BC. Early life. In the 500s, the Gautama family reigned over a kingdom in northern India, which is present-day Nepal. The king and queen at that time had a son named Siddhartha. According to Buddhist history, Siddhartha was conceived under extraordinary means. In a dream, a white elephant visited his mother and touched her side with a lotus tree blossom. Soon after, she became pregnant. Siddhartha was born out of his mother's side. His mother felt no pain during the delivery. According to legend, Siddhartha told his mother after his birth, "This is my last rebirth. Henceforth there is no more birth for me." Everywhere he walked, lotus blossoms grew beneath his feet. Shortly after Siddhartha's birth, his mother died. His father, Suddhodana, went to a fortune teller to find out Siddhartha's future. The fortune teller presented two futures for his son. The first prediction was that Siddhartha would be a world conqueror if he chose to be a ruler. If he chose a life of wisdom rather than power, he would bring religious salvation to the world. The father chose the path of power for his son. During Siddhartha's lifetime, as today, Hinduism was the prominent religion of India. Hinduism teaches about the cycle of reincarnation. Although it is believed that a person's future is largely predetermined, people have some control over their future lives. In addition, people believed in a strict caste system, which is a social order. The people at the highest levels of the system were said to be the most spiritual. Their place in the caste system was a reward for their spiritual enlightenment. Siddhartha's family was part of the high caste. As a child, Siddhartha was sheltered from poverty and sickness of others. As a curious young man, he explored the city around his home. The suffering that he saw during this time led him to give up his marriage and son in order to pursue spiritual wisdom. Enlightenment. As a 30-year-old single man, Siddhartha practiced meditation as part of the Jains sect. He agreed to live without such basic necessities as food and shelter in order to pursue his spiritual path. After 5 years of struggle, Siddhartha left the sect to recover and meditate on his own. One night he sat under a fig tree in northwest India. Meditating under this tree opened his awareness, leading him to an enlightened, peaceful state of being. At this point, he became Buddha. Buddha and Buddhists around the world believe that people are reincarnated, reborn on earth, back to earth until they have reached inner peace. The Four Noble Truths are central to Buddhism: that life is painful and full of suffering, that desire is the cause of pain, that a person can overcome desire, and that following the Eightfold Path will end suffering caused by desire. According to Buddha, following an eightfold path by conducting a life of discipline, mindfulness, and meditation will lead a person to a state void of desire. This path is a process of facing reality and leads to enlightenment, a state of inner peace. Buddhists believe that nirvana is the highest state that someone can attain, meaning a person's individual desires and suffering go away. At this point, they will no longer be reincarnated to early suffering. The Eightfold Path: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. Religious teachings. Buddha spent most of his time traveling after his enlightenment. His travels were in Magadha, which later became the largest Buddhist empire. For the next 45 years, Buddha established monasteries, which are places for monks, nuns, and others to have peace and focus on their spiritual growth. Buddha spread the belief that faith should fulfill one's needs. Therefore, there was no need for the caste system. Once he renounces the social order, he became increasingly more popular with the citizens. He remained a preacher up until his death, when he told his followers to continue to seek salvation. Although India would later reject Buddhism, many holy sites of Buddhism are located in India. These holy sites include the places where Buddha presented his sermons, where he meditated, and where his ashes were spread after his death. The special sites where Buddha's ashes were divided were called the 8 stupas, or temples. Buddha and Jesus. Many comparisons have been made between Buddha and Jesus. Both men were believed to have had miraculous births. They both set out on their life's work as spiritual leaders in around the age of 30, which led to the establishment of new faiths. For Buddha, it was Buddhism, and for Jesus, it was Christianity, which is the belief in one God. Just as they had several parallels in their lives, they were also different. As a child and young man, Buddha lived a life of wealth and privilege, while Jesus lived a life of poverty. As adults, their lives differed as well. Buddha was a seeker of spiritual wisdom and enlightenment. Jesus was a teacher. According to Christian faith, Jesus was murdered and rose from the dead. According to Buddhism, Buddha attained enlightenment, which led to his lifelong ministry. Connections today. According to the World Atlas, in 2010, there were approximately 488 million Buddhists in the world. This makes Buddhism the fourth largest religion globally in terms of number of adherents. China holds the largest Buddhist population at 244 million, followed by Thailand at 64 million. And as you can see, these are the countries that they've listed, 1 through 10, that has the estimated Buddhist population, and it holds this percentage of the world's Buddhist population. So, for example, number 1, China, has 244,130,000 estimated Buddhists. This was in 2010, and that was 46.40% of the world Buddhist population.